You just have to accept it.
Yes.
So yeah, I wouldn't worry about any of that. There's a couple goals that I want to work on with you in regards to, because, and first of all, I owe you an apology from yesterday. I give way too much grace to my son, and way too much grace on, and that was part of my elephants that we had to work on. And so Eric is on his way out, as you know. I mean, he's pretty much out, but he still holds on to some things. And so I don't want to create a vibe where we allow people to not to show up and not show up. And yet he's created a lot of the graphics and systems and structures. So that's why we're allowing him a private ownership, and most of it is supposed to be relatively silent.
Sure.
So, and Eric and I talked a little bit about both Erics about what we need to do to set him up and keep him in the appropriate boundaries, if you will. So if you see me, I don't want to I don't want to cause any concern to any culture or any of what we're building moving forward. So it's helpful for me to recognize that I could have handled that a little bit differently in that conversation. So I don't, if that makes any sense.
It does. I don't feel any certain way about it. I just want to be able to access your calendar. That's it. That's all I want. I don't care about anything else.
Right?
Yes.
Yes. And that's what I need to have a real heart to heart with my son. He's getting ready to move again, and I need to get access to everything. We should not have a reason why we have to ask him for it.
Yeah.
And so I haven't figured out how to, I will get ownership of everything we're supposed to have ownership. I don't want to put that on your plate. Sure. I want to make sure you're not held hostage by anything like for any amount of time, which is ridiculous. So,
well, thank you.
My apologies for that. In the same aspect, I'm working to clean that up. So,
yes.
And I, as you could see, I needed a whole lot of help because there's a whole lot going on, and we need to get real structured and systemized about it. Because as you knew, and you made a mention about it in Burbank, how you handle all the matters you've got going on, I have no clue. And as you get to see, overall, I handle it, but not to the best of my ability, right?
Sure.
And so
we're all a work in progress.
Amen. So as you look back, and the two things I wanted to say about that is, one, in regards to the personal side and the financial strategy, I think what we're doing today is going to help with that. And then it'll align with number 4, because one of the things, and I don't know that you've turned in your life will again yet. Have you done that?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I need to go back to that. That's where I knew about the financial, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. See, I'm getting my head back in it. So educate me. When you set a clear objective and a manual, which a manual is part of your assignment now, but it's not the only assignment, right?
Exactly.
But everything that you're doing is part of that manual, right? So you're putting it into the manual. So if you were to say your inspiring statement, do you know what it is, or would you like help with that?
I think, I mean, I'll probably put something down now and then I'll go back and edit it. That's just how I am. I want it to look pretty.
You're allowed.
But a huge part is just, I really want to fully understand every element of what it is that One Light Ahead does.
Okay.
I think because I had a year at Loomis Life Care to really just experience it all. And so I knew that office like the back of my hand, and I'm not quite there yet with One Light Ahead there. I'm not sure, between the Leadership Academy and coaching, and I'm just not quite sure how to wrap my head around it all yet. So I need a little bit more exposure and training, but I learn very quickly. Mm-hmm. And it's just going to take me getting in it. Right. And once I see how it works, then, I'll be able to take it and run with it. But I don't have that year of experience that I had at the office. And I think that's where the clear objective came from. Because I saw immediately, you asked me what needed to be fixed, and I knew,
mm-hmm.
So I think a huge part is of this inspiring statement would be to learn the ins and outs of One Light Ahead, you know, each component, how they all, like from start to finish, how it looks from an outside perspective.
And what is the end result benefit to you?
Of learning that,
Mm-hmm.
being able to work. I can't work if I don't know what I'm
What you're doing.
working. Yeah. Yeah, I want to be able to use my skills to do something helpful, you know.
Well, and the exciting thing about it is two things just occurred for me. That is what we've talked about, but now I have a way of giving you clarity. Is everything you're coming into One Light Ahead doing is you're coming in and saying, okay, I need to understand, and you're going to get to do this with multiple companies in the future of saying, all right, and you're literally creating your systems and structures for it now to be the operations specialist and to know how to empower everyone else in the team.
Right.
So not only in our team, but on other teams. So when you come into Shattered Dreams or you come into Thrive Chiropractic, what you did for Loomis Life, you're going to come in and do for One Light Ahead, and you're going to come in and do for every other company, but you're not going to do it. You're going to know how to teach them how to do it.
Yes.
That you're going to do it for us. And then you're going to be able to go in and say, this is what I've done for multiple companies now. And I'm going to be able to do it for you.
Yeah, that's the end goal for sure. But I see that it's so funny. I can see like your big picture and my little picture. I'm like, okay, but first I need to know what I'm doing.
But you see where I was going, right?
Yes. But I completely agree. Yeah, that is the end goal for me for sure.
So this is how I think. And this is, can you tell me
Yes.
what I'm doing with the yellow, please?
Yes.
Okay, so let's decide right now. So there isn't, I mean, obviously operations is your key operation. So let's use that as, what color do you like? Pink, white, yellow, green.
Green is my favorite color.
I do that. So green is and I love your blouse on the LinkedIn profile, by the way. Beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
It's gorgeous. Okay, so you are taking the green for everything that you handle. Okay, that is your money item. So for me, I'm going to take the purple because that's only the tiny parts.
I love that.
I'm taking the purple.
I love that.
And you know, the fun part about it is I realized the purple is all the ends. So it's all the stuff that makes sure that the big picture is taken care of and everybody else gets the madness.
Perfect.
Right? So so let's color code that now because I'll talk more about what I mean by that. So white is going to be Logan.
Audio, I can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Can you talk one more time?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to give white to Logan, which is sales and marketing.
Okay.
If you could record this on a separate note, that'd be awesome.
Yes.
And what do you think we need yellow for? Vendors?
Yeah, that'd be good. So purple
Is me.
April.
So I'm the founder and owner at the moment, but we will have multiple owners in the future. That's a whole nother conversation down the road.
Yeah. Okay. Sales and marketing, and that'll be Logan. And then I'm operations. And then vendors, we said is yellow.
Yellow. Because our vendors are required.
Oh, yes.
And then it looks like we've got an orange here on the outside.
So would that be the clients?
What a smart awareness. I was having I totally forgot about the client. I love that. But I agree. I mean, there's what they are, what keep us in business.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay, so I think I've got all the colors.
perfect.
And so that was fun. I enjoyed that. So, and the reason, because Elaine's going to ask us about this, of how we're going to color code it and et cetera. And we just said we can pick all the colors, but it helps me because I'm a very visual and kinesthetic person. It helps me to have that visual.
Yeah.
I can think outside the box a little bit more. There is a pink. Did we give anybody the pink?
No, nobody has pink.
And how many colors is that now?
1, 2, 3, 4. Pink will be 6.
Okay. So, and I think we're gonna have 6. I don't know what pink is yet, but I'm sure we're gonna come back to that.
Yes.
Okay. So the reason I mentioned all that is because as the operations person, you get to be, although I get to be the big picture, I mean, it's kind of like what Eric said to us yesterday, is you're the tactical person and I'm the trainer and the empowerer and etc. and the coach basically, right?
Yes.
So in order for you to best be supported, so if your inspiring statement is, I'm going to, in whatever, and I know it's not going to be the one you choose today, but in whatever aspect, I'm going to understand every component of every operations and every department and every aspect so that I can make sure it runs effectively and efficiently. And I can empower myself and others to cause duplicatable and repeatable systems.
Yes, exactly. Okay, let me see. I'm typing. I
Yeah, I
learned
totally understand.
so that I can.
And I'm glad you're typing because I didn't write down anything of what I just said.
Yes.
But I did draw a baseball field because I know you understand that well. And I realized that we need to have a whole day of products and training for everybody. A whole day of training on what our products and our offerings are. And I realized,
Okay.
and that's phase 2, which is presenting service and product, right? And discovering need. We're going to be operating in 2 documents, you know that, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, you have, because you have the baseball diamond, which is like your helicopter view, and then you have the 145 of how you're going to get around. So yeah, totally. Okay, so what I have, I will learn the inner workings of one light ahead so I can effectively and efficiently create repeatable systems and structures to empower others in the company to own their roles and create growth.
Beautiful.
Perfect. Okay.
And you own that. That is your role.
Yes.
Isn't that awesome? Okay.
It is.
And I am beyond ecstatic for it. And you do know that we will, I don't know how soon you'll be available for it, but we're going to probably move from the half a month into a full month eventually. You're going to have to tell me when you're ready for that.
Okay.
But as you are seeing, there's more than enough work to do once you understand what you need to do.
Yes.
So educate. So now we're going to go to the 4 inspiring statements. How do you want to narrow that down? We have 6 different departments, basically. One of them we're still figuring out. The 6 might be the other coaches, but I don't know if they'd be considered vendors or not.
Okay, I'll just put that down for now. So what are the,
Yeah, I think it should be a separate one, actually. And a side note, there's a lady, Debbie, she's a coach I work with, or I know through Habit Finder. She wants us to be a coach resource for one of her coaching companies. And it doesn't, I'm not sure it's going to make sense, or I think I might need to have a conversation with her about doing some type of joint venture.
okay.
But that's not, I want to get our systems in place first.
Okay, well, so you said we have 6 departments. So I think a huge thing for me, I need to understand the big groups. Like we do this, like we do the Masters League, we do the individual coaching, we do like all of the things that are done, I guess. so
Yeah.
that I can then break those apart.
So let's go into sales and marketing first, which is one of the departments. And sales and marketing includes the book. Well, let me start again. And in that strategy document, I think you have access to it. There's a workflow. Have you seen that document? I'll pull it up and share screen with you in a minute.
Okay.
If you're going to be able to see it, I think you have access to it already.
If I turn myself, will it fix for you? Like, am I sideways?
No.
Oh, perfect. Okay. That's better because my screen's bigger now.
Oh, good. Okay, let me pull that. Where's Eric? It's called the Content Blueprint.
Content Blueprint.
So that is the Google Drive document. You should have, and you did do an edit in it August 16th, so you haven't been in there a while.
Okay.
But
I have it. I have it bookmarked right here.
Okay. So if you go to the new value ladder, and this is probably what we need to train Logan on. So are you able to pull that up on your computer?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, you're in it. I see you now. Okay. So if you look at where it says content, rhythm, type, and then leads to. So we're supposed to be doing the one light moment. And so this should be the one light moment. I want to have a conversation about this in the future of whether or not we want to update that. I've been doing it a long time, and some people love it, some people don't, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it was weekly, macros, kind of anybody, right? And we would direct them to the Q&A or the assessment, right? The Freedom Fridays, any of the Possibility Mondays, the Q&A and the assessment. So ideally we get them to a Q&A where they get the assessment. They want to go do the assessment. Then we get them to a strategy call. That's a $300 investment in most cases.
Okay. Okay, I'm understanding now. Okay.
Now this is stuff we worked with predictive ROI to figure out what our value ladder is. I should have done this 10 years ago, by the way.
Yeah.
So, and this was really, really powerful because this is where we learned that there was that, and that if you see the one to many, which I don't know if it's on this one or it's in the gap finder. So this is the gap finder. If you go to the gap finder document next door to it, you see where the price points are. And I can walk Logan through this too, so he can ask questions as well. And by the way, this is going to be 3,500. And we'll talk about that too. We'll come back to that one too. This is, they only charge 2,900 and we don't get that much off of it. So we'll have to have a conversation about that too.
Okay, I'm sorry, April, what is the Leadership Academy?
So if you go into Canva, and I don't know if you can see it, it says shared with you. There should be a Leadership Academy course, video presentation.
Okay.
And
so
that
it
is 6 days of a program we are doing with Big Eye and with Cliff, but we are allowed to sell it on our own as well.
Okay. It's on
Canva, Leadership Academy.
The leaders, I'll have to search for it. So is it something that you are actively, it's not showing up for me.
It's not showing up?
Oh, maybe that's why. Let me see.
It
So
might
it's
now
something
because
that you actively do, like you're a part of it, or is it something that it already exists and they just go through it?
it already exists and they go through it. No, we have to be in the group, so we're in it. We are in it regularly. By the way, a quick question: how do I download that Canva presentation to have it on my computer if need be?
So if you click on it and it should send you to Canva, I think I've allowed you to edit it. There should be a button on the top right that says download.
It does, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, and then whatever the suggested
The PDF.
file type is that what it is, a PDF?
Mhm.
Download that,
Okay.
and then once it's downloaded to your computer, you can click on it and then save it to wherever you want. Like if you want it in Drive, or if you want to even email it to yourself. If you want to share screen, I might be able to walk you through it too.
Yeah, I just downloaded. I was just I accidentally added another page to it. But I downloaded before that happened, so I got it now. But and I'll share screen with you. Just how do I remove the page that I just accidentally added?
Let me get into it. I'm in it now too.
So number 5, I just need to delete it, right? Yeah, delete.
Yep.
Okay, so yeah, I downloaded it under a PDF. So I'll play with that tonight and see if I need to download it any other way on my, because I need to do it on my laptop. Okay, so going back, thank you. I was going to share a screen to show you the Leadership Academy. Okay. See,
there is also
squirreled, but anyways,
I know. There is also that if you like have any issues when you get there, if you can log into Canva on whatever they use to project it onto the screen, there is that present button in the top right corner. So if you could just get yourself in here, you can always do it that way too.
And I need to find out. I won't find out till about 8 o'clock in the morning if they have internet there. I assume they do, but I'll need to.
Oh Lord.
Yeah. Right. My hotspot's not cooperating, so but I need to work on that too. So this is what the all the little things. This was a presentation slide that we just did. So this is the Leadership Academy day 1, day 2, and this is what we can use to sell it. And this is what we can download for Logan. And I can do it by myself or with Cliff. Okay. And I don't know what we're doing with it yet, but it is a tool we have available. Okay. And this gives an overview of what we teach and how it works. So we do have a diversity and inclusion factor into this program. And what I love about this, okay.
So
Eric helped create those two. Like this is the diversity and inclusion, and then this is the teeter-totters.
So ideally we get them to the Q&A, right? That's kind of like the first big stepping stone. And then is it from there to Leadership Academy?
No.
Strategy session.
Strategy session. So the first thing is to take the assessment. Then the second thing is the strategy session. It is on Calendly for a $300 investment. I don't know if I don't know if it's clearly set up. So that probably needs to be checked. Okay. Because there is an option on Calendly for a BNI 60-minute as well, because anybody in BNI gets one-on-ones at no cost. Okay. And we probably need to add in the future, I'll need to add in one for Axiogenics, debrief as well. But that can just go into strategy session as well.
Okay. Well, I just lost my space. All right. So we have the Q&A, which goes to strategy. And then at that point, at the strategy session, you determine what would be best for them next. So do you often lead them to the Leadership Academy or Masters League or coach, like one-on-one?
More often than not, they end up in one-on-one.
Okay.
Some end up in MLC. Some end up, none have gone into Leadership Academy yet. That's a brand new program. Okay. The only ones that we have in the Leadership Academy right now were sold by Big I, and we start that next Wednesday. This will be our first run through with Big I. Okay. So with that, there is one other program called Breaking the Habit Code that's been on our website. I don't think it's now. I was supposed to do with another coach. She's not really made a whole lot of effort, so I'm not really. We did have 2 previous programs, one called All About You, that is behind the scenes in Thinkific. We don't offer it anymore, but it is, people are still in that. if they decide to come back to it. That would be a conversation like much later about what we could do with that material. And that's why you see this roadmaps on this spreadsheet for the gap, because that's a class I want to create in the future. I have a lot of the material in the drive. I just haven't had time to create it yet. We do also have the diversity class material, and I just need to create that as well. So that's why all these are over here. They're just future things I need to work on.
Okay.
And those are things we can do in the future, but they're not urgent at the moment.
So I'm back in the 145. And I think my first statement is going to be breaking down the six departments that we talked about. Okay, so I will break down the 6 departments and begin strategizing systems for each. Okay, and then number 2 is actually creating the manual with whatever after I've broken down the 6 departments.
Correct.
Then I will take those 6, put them into a manual. And then, okay. All right, so that's where I'm at now. You can keep going.
Right. And I love that we're going, thank you for the permission to go back and forth. That content blueprint, to go back to that real quick. When you go into the content library, which is one of the tabs next to basics, you can see all the Dropbox documents as well as what we call intellectual property. These are the things that are stuff we've created. And you'll see how it comes. Some of those are on the website. Those are our so-called free downloads. And then we have the Habit Finder outside resources on that document. And we need to keep adding to this content library. We have other manuals and tools, but this is another tool we can start including in our manual for operations. Does that make sense?
Kind of. So what do you mean by we have other, like the, what is that called? The HR manual? Is that what you're talking about? Other manuals and tools?
Well, let me start that again. And I keep losing you. Okay, there you go. I'm playing in the screens and I'm like, where'd you go?
I know.
Okay, so what I mean is, so technically we'll have a team, kind of like what you did with Loomis Life Care. You had a front, what's the culture? And I probably need to get all that updated, the culture, mission statement, all that stuff.
Okay.
But
I wonder if culture should be a color.
Right.
In that, I'm just throwing that out there.
I think that would fall under operations, would it not?
Yeah, it would, because it'll go in the manual.
Well, and I mean, culture is developed by the buy-in, I mean, of our, how we get to lead, how we get to, I mean, just kind of like what, and I love the fact that we can use Larry's company as an example, because Larry's company was all about education. Larry's company was all about moving people forward on the ability that they can grow, or not grow, but have wellness, right?
Yes.
Our culture is a tad bit different. Our culture is about owning leadership, about having the opportunity to be creative, completing and celebrating in a process like the Q&A, like one-on-one, MLC, etc., where they move from point A to point B, and they move from their crap to their fertilizer, right?
Yeah. I love that.
Right?
Yes.
And it's in the book. So and shit is spelled in capital letters on top of that. So fun.
I love it.
Love that my publisher was willing to do that. I'm like,
yeah.
That was bold. Anyways, so I need to do some writing on that to add to the beginning of the manual, but we are going to have the beginning of the manual of who we are, what we do, and how we do it for the outwards perspective. But for the operations part of it, the manual is going to be literally especially for the coaches. I mean, and this is where Elaine and I had a big discussion, because our internal manual for ourselves as the coaches is really what we're building, right? Because although you're a team member, but you're also going to be a future coach. So you're going to have both sides of that perspective. You want to start with the focus of how you're building it for a coach first, and then you'll be able to download it from the other side of it. Because as a, did I confuse you?
A little bit.
Yeah, I can tell. I had the same reaction when I was having a conversation with Elaine about it.
Yeah.
Because as she said, there's a difference of, like, if Chelsea was coming into our company to come work the front desk, she only needs a portion of the manual.
Right.
But as a coach coming in that needs to know what systems and structures we have, how we're going to support them, how we're going to help develop them as a coach and develop their opportunity to serve clients, and what kind of clients we want, etc. That's what we're building the manual for.
I see. Okay.
And then
Cool.
we'll come back and build the Chelsea manuals.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And you're multi-talented. So if you want to be building multiple manuals, feel free. But I just want to understand what Elaine's focus is.
Yeah. And I fully believe one thing at a time is always the best way to go. Yeah. At least big projects like this.
Exactly.
It'll be good. Okay. So I'm creating a coach's manual. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, because if Logan, God willing, Logan does his job, we're going to need more coaches.
Yeah.
And as it is, even some of the clients I have now, we're going to need to put you in January. Because it's getting to a point where they need to get detailed, and that's not my area of expertise, as you know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But they've got to get in the right mindset and focus and habits before I can send you in. Which is a whole nother conversation. Anyways, I got one
okay.
Just a challenge today. But anyways.
Okay, I feel like my mind is like, I'm getting it now.
Yay.
Yeah, okay. It's only taken me a couple weeks.
Well, sweetheart, you were managing 2 businesses. You were managing your mindset of getting Jackie trained and empowered. Great job. And my understanding that's complete now, or overall.
Yeah, I keep saying we have one more meeting, because I'll call her and then she'll have these random one-off questions that end up taking the whole training session. And then the final meeting is continually getting pushed off. But I think we're finally at a point now that I can just go over the manual with her one last time. She has an opportunity to ask me any questions as we do that, because now she has a better idea of what it's saying because she's there. And then I think we'll be done. But yes.
I have a meeting with her next Tuesday. And I have not seen numbers. I've not seen anything from her yet.
The numbers for August looked very good.
Yay.
From what I know. But yeah, I'm excited to see how it goes for her. She's had a rough go in the beginning. She was thrown into the fire for sure. So
go girl. Yeah,
she's doing great
from what I understand. So
yes, she is.
Yeah, that's great. So great job, but don't give yourself some grace. You were running. Never mind attempting to figure out how to get things out of my head. And I had to finish a book to get that out of my head. Somebody said to me today, they go, "You look so much more peaceful. Did something come complete?" And I said, "Yes, I turned in the book last weekend." That I had no idea how much weight that was on me.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And so extreme blessing. So thank you for your patience with us as well. So give yourself grace. Now we just had to figure out how we got on the same document and mindset and bridge, if you will, so we can know how to keep going back and forth.
Okay. So sorry. Let's go back. I'm all over the place today.
Oh,
okay. So we've got, you said breaking the habit code is a smaller course that you do.
It's one we've offered, but not one we've done yet, because the coach we're supposed to do it with is not.
Oh, that's right.
So I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay.
And like I said, what we probably need to do, the content blueprint has and maybe that's what I probably need to do on that value ladder. If you go to the value ladder part on the content blueprint, those are the things we are running. The only one on this 30-day home run, I'm going to put a yellow on that one, is that still in process. Because I just did 2 30-day home runs and they were successful, but I facilitated them. So they had the online program, but they also had the facilitation, and that wasn't the ideal, because if you go back to the gap finder, these DFYs, DWY, it means done for you, done with you, or done do it yourself. And technically the 30-day program was supposed to be a do it yourself. And I haven't figured out how to make that happen yet.
Okay. And that's the, okay. And that's the 30-day home run.
Correct.
Okay.
And the reason we created the 30-day home run is to attempt to make it an easier sell than the Masters League competition. Because it doesn't go as deep. It doesn't include the hole and brave. It doesn't include, it just includes the schedule document, the priority document, and in person. It's not even in the online program.
Okay.
So that may be a conversation. Those are those little things that we need to fix as we move forward.
Okay.
And this is why and this is the challenge that we're going to have in conversation with Elaine, where it says MLC full diamond. And I'm not sure why the strategy called 2 here, so I probably need to ask Eric about that. Oh, if they did the 30-day home run, they go through another strategy to determine what they did and then what they want to go into next.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the concept of base 2, but if we go back to base 1 in regards to Logan, this is how the love what you do again came up, is, and we know that our job is to, and these are what they call pillars. That's why I say our job is to internally and externally cause them to own their leadership. We get to analyze, reframe, and work with them to provide their own evidence to remove their destructive mindset, and then ultimately get them to think, speak, and act where they're, how they're walking their talk, basically. And that's how we created the Love What You Do Again Q&A.
Gotcha. Okay.
That helps?
Okay, it does very much. So, and the ultimate, I'm just, when I'm creating the manual, how, it's going to sound silly, but how do I take what's in your head? Because it's going to be from a coach, right? Like from your mastermind into a repeatable frame, right? For other coaches to come in and do what you do effectively. Is that right?
I've been asking myself for quite a while. I love the way you said that, but the reason I know that you and Logan in your own arenas will be able to do it is because you're going to come in and be the coach you are, not be me. So the coaching I do is not the coaching you will do. And each coach will have their own expertise and have like an MLC or a 30-day program to use as a supporting document or supporting toolbox, if you will. But they're going to bring their own expertise. I mean, how Cliff coaches is not how I coach, but we tag well, right?
So what I'm not really fully wrapping my mind around what the manual is going to say, like what systems is going to go in there.
We are going to teach, and this is going to be applicable to any business owner. A coach is a brand new business owner. A coach has to walk all 4 bases. They have to learn how to build their first base, how to build their second base, how to use the tools and systems, then how to get to their third base so that they can walk themselves and their clients through the process.
Okay, so is this, could it be like just a manual around the baseball diamond?
Mhm.
Oh, big O. Okay. I am totally understanding that now. I know I'm sorry that took me so long.
No, I love that. I loved watching the moment there. That was, and I'm glad we recorded that because
Okay.
that's why you have that outline of the full diamond. Is these are our tools. So here's one more thing I want you to really hear in that perspective. And this has been the gift Elaine and I have been figuring out, is you've got the diamond perspectives with the 30-day and the MLC, which is a baseball concept, which will be its own book in the future, by the way. But then you've got the slaying the onion, which is inside the baseball diamond program in MLC. I can speak.
Yeah.
But what I realized, and this is what I want to get your head wrapped around, is when they go through MLC, they get exposed to Whole and Brave, but they have to be willing to start peeling away those layers to move into slaying the onion, because that's the next deep dive. So they can either go into the option of building systems and structures and having you come in, or they come to me to keep digging away at those layers in one-on-one. Does that make sense?
And they need both.
They need both. Absolutely.
Yes.
Which is why we're going to tag team a lot.
Yeah. So it seems like the culture is, okay, so the culture of the business is the Whole and the Brave. And then the systems and structures of the business is the baseball diamond.
Correct.
And the manual is going to have both.
Yes.
Okay. I'm with you. We're tracking.
Woohoo.
Okay.
We're on the same bridge. But
Yes.
by the way, they are the same bridge, but at one time and you notice when we start digging into the Whole and the Brave, we're still working on business, but we're working on how are you showing up as a leader for yourself and others to be able to know how to move forward.
Yes. Well, because there's what you're doing, which is the baseball diamond, and then there's how you're showing up to do it, which is the Whole and the Brave. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And why?
Yes, the how and the why.
Yep. She's getting her head wrapped around it. Isn't that exciting?
I am. Yes. Yes. Yeah. I feel like yeah.
And the funny part about it is you're already exposed to it. Now you just have to figure out, how do I want to explain it? How do I want to guide it? How do I want to create the roadmap so that I can document it and duplicate it? Right.
Yes.
And the reason that we've had both programs is because I have to do both. I mean, if I wouldn't have done both with Larry, we wouldn't have accomplished what we accomplished.
Absolutely.
And I still get to do both with Larry daily, or weekly, I should say. Do you see where I'm going?
Totally.
So Larry will be a good example, plus what you went through, to help you understand that whole, the what, the how, the why, and then to build it out in that, and we may want to stay with that mindset throughout all the bases.
Yeah.
And that's the concept of the core Brave is the how and the why, because those of us that, and I said something today, as believers, ultimately we know that God is going to give us who needs to be reminded, taught, brought, transformed, sanctified, whatever that is, right? And it hit me over this weekend. I know that's my ultimate job. My job is to remind people who the Holy Spirit is, how the Holy Spirit shows up in their life, and how they get out of God's way and appreciate the gifts they're given, appreciate how they connect and hear from God. And it was so fun. We had a gentleman, he was the toughest cookie in our 30-day group. And today he said, I finally heard from God again.
Wow. What a flippin' awesome thing that you get to do. We get to do. But I mean, how, like, that just makes me so excited. Like, I don't know. It's really, really cool. So, okay. So I'm picturing in my head, like, there's those concentric circles, right? For the hole in the brave. So on each base really should be those circles for each one. Base 1, when you're finding your client, how are you showing up? Base 2, how are you showing up? Base 3. Yeah.
Love that. See, this is how we do this together.
Yes.
I love that. Yes, that needs to be as part of the manual process as we really build the full diamond process out, where we walk in one-on-one with clients and really walk them through, because the MLC is a 9 inning process. It's not gonna, we can do a helicopter, but we can't dig deep like that.
Right.
But and it's
Right.
joyful landscaping back out there.
No, that's okay. Yeah, I wonder if there would be a way like to create an animation of the baseball diamond, and as a person is walking from base to base, you can see the circle kind of pulsing out, from.
Have a blast. I can't wait to see that.
That would be cool. I'll have to play with that.
And I'm going to show you what we're going to cover. And I know I need to get you out of here. I had promised you'd be out of here by now, so my apology.
No, that's okay. I'm really excited.
Yay. Okay, so I want to show you one more thing, and then are you good about going back on your 145 now?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll finish it.
Well, and my goal was to have us finish it together, but I think that we can schedule another time next week or tomorrow. It's up to you. I'm not sure how much time I have in my schedule tomorrow, but you can look.
Well, I will get a little draft going, and then we can go over it together, and you can say, let me know if I'm missing anything or if you see anything. Yeah.
Okay. Oh shit. Sorry. Every once in a while, I'm really good at the word shit, by the way.
That's okay. My mom and my favorite thing to say is stop sitting in your shit.
Amen. I love that. Okay, so I'm looking for the one I just edited. Okay, is that the right one? No, doggone it. My apology. Here it is. Okay. Nope. Here it is. Okay. I've got to save this better so I know where the heck it is. Okay, good. Current. Okay. I am going to share screen with you, and we'll cover this in next group on MLC, but I wanted you to see in advance because I sent these visuals to the publisher. Once I figure out how to share screen, we're good. Okay. So this is the part that I was teaching before. And do you have this one? You do not. So I'm going to share this one with you so you have it.
Cool.
Okay. So this is the Whole and Brave slides currently. And on the screen, I don't know if you can see, or you can see the document I just shared with you.
Yeah.
And this probably be something, because what you just brought up, I hadn't even thought of yet, which is really, really cool. But that idea of how that person can go in and out, that's just so cool.
Yeah.
But now what I want to add one more factor of layers to you. And can you see this? Are you able to open?
Yes. Okay. I'm opening it on my computer and I can see it. So. Oh,
cool. Yeah, I forgot I'm sharing my screen. There's a reason I add highlights, by the way. Anyways, the world to experience. So if you see, they're in the hole. So they're meeting somebody at the exterior layer, and they're meeting somebody at the brave at exterior layer. So in the book, I talk all about what that means. And then I go in the same thing of history meeting values. Our probably revised edit will be, different layers all over the place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I showed examples of how, organized to attract if I'm in the organized layer, kind of like where you're at right now, and I'm looking at what do I want to attract, then what do I need to ask myself to do this 1, 4, 5, to build this bridge and to understand what I need to know. Does that make sense?
Definitely.
So this is all 5 of those examples are in the book, with details and stories, etc. So I just want to add that awareness to you, because when we talked about that slaying, that concept of the whole and brave, and that being a whole nother layer, what we do in MLC is only a portion of that. We'll talk about this in our next, probably by inning 5, if not inning 6, depending on how we end up doing in brave, because that's the brave one, right?
Yeah.
And we end up doing both, right? We end up operating in both, but we ideally want to live in the brave place.
Yeah.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Any questions on that?
Nope, not yet.
Totally understand.
Surely there will be.
And please welcome it too. And I think, I mean, overall, breaking down the departments, making sure what your number 4, I would tell you number 4 needs to be, what is it going to be for me to build my financial strategy? What do I want my career to look like? What do I want my personal life to look like? What do I want my bank account to look like? How am I going to start building the, my home, my structure, my investments, etc. That makes sense?
Yep, definitely. And I think I'm actually gonna change up a little bit. I'm not gonna focus I will focus on the departments of One Light Ahead, don't get me wrong, but now I'm able to focus on the baseball diamond and break apart those bases and then work on that manual. I think that is gonna be more helpful, quicker for you. So I'll do that.
Well, and the one thing that does need to get on that 1, 4, 5 is our day-to-day operations as well. Because there are some jobs like our book tour, like the stuff that Sandra's going to be doing, like managing Logan. Those are things that are going to be day-to-day activities that we need to make sure we stay on top of as well.
Okay, so that's going in number 3. Yes. And then this is personal financial stuff. Okay, so I did create a Google Docs just for our staff meetings that I'll share so that we can have some accountability.
Yes.
There.
Awesome.
And then and then I think once we start doing that and we give clear goals weekly, it'll be easier to have a day-to-day outline.
Agreed.
Okay.
Do you want help with that, or are you comfortable owning
that? Which part?
The staff meeting agendas.
That's already done in Google Docs.
And do you have clear goals in there, or do you need help with the clear goals?
So I do have I have that agenda that you sent me a little bit ago. And I'm going to integrate that in just the outline that I created. And then I'm sure as we go over it, it'll change a bit. But as of right now, I'm okay. I'm just going to transpose what you gave me into the outline.
Awesome. And will you add the book document that we're working on into Trello board for Sandra to look at?
Which book document?
Good point. The spreadsheet about locations and cells, etc. Do you remember that?
I don't. What is it called?
Book tour.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it still needs help, but we have some work to do, and we probably want to pay attention to how we're capitalizing on emails and in the community. And by the way, I think we sold 3 on Think of It now, but I'll have to go check. And I'm selling it again tomorrow. So
awesome.
All right, we're excited.
Okay.
Any other questions, or can I send you on your way?
I have so much to do and I'm so excited to do it. So I think we're good.
And now we can get comfortable with giving you a boundary, and we may need to have a little bit more questions about the day-to-day just on priority timelines. But play with it and see what you're comfortable with and ask me anything you want.
Okay, and I'll use that the MLC schedule that we're supposed to be doing. That'll be perfect.
Won't it be awesome?
Yeah.
Have lots of fun, safe travels, and I will see you.
Thank you. All right, take care, April.
Bye, sweetheart.
Bye.